Hey, Kafkuba fans, words here. It's March 29th, Tuesday. Just left Muskrat Creek Shelter, and I'm going to do 12 point something to Carter Shelter, Carter Gap Shelter, Carter something, Jimmy Carter, Roseanne Carter. It was cool when I went to bed, and it almost seemed like it didn't drop much beyond that. It started off at around freezing, and then it got a little warmer almost, and now it's overcast for the first time since I've been up here that I've hiked. So, no wind, thank God. And I'm starting off slow to warm up. Nothing exciting or funny to say, so I'll catch back with you. So, a little point on gear review. Of everything I purchased and brought and studied and researched, I wouldn't change much. I love having the folding pad. I love having the Thermarest blow-up pad. The combo works well for various reasons. I love the bag liner by Cedar Summit. I have the reactor. The sleeping bag is okay. It's the REI Magma. One thing that just occurred to me is I wished I had brought my old fleece gloves. These gloves that I have, they suck. They're supposed to be a little bit water resistant. They're just not good. I'd rather be warm some of the time in cool weather than none of the time. And I could have even put just a plastic bag over them in the rain. So Rachel, if you're paying attention, my old fleece gloves are in the front of my Kelty bag. If you stop by the house, maybe you can grab them and put them in my next mail cycle if I don't pick them up ahead of time. A comment on the Nemo Dragonfly tent, 2-person tent. If anybody's a Nemo expert, or Nemo if you're paying attention, I know it's the older version. Everybody's got the Hornet up here, but I saw another guy with the Dragonfly. That cross member on top, man, that is, you really have to stretch the fabric on the inner tent ceiling to fit into the eyelets on that crossbar. I mean, it is so tight, I'm afraid I'm going to shred the loops of the fabric. So I don't think I'm doing anything wrong, and maybe the tent is designed strong enough to withstand that. But that will be a disaster if I rip the roof on that thing. I won't have a roof ceiling cross member, it'll be caving in. It's probably a good idea structurally because it's really sound and tight and doesn't flex much in the wind. But if anybody has any experience with that cross member and what the longevity is, I'd appreciate it. It's funny, this kid left camp about 8-10 minutes ahead of me. He was the first one to leave and I was right after him. Everybody was still packing up. And I'm moseying along. It's fairly straight away for once out of the camp. And I see him in the distance texting or playing on his phone. And then he saw me finally, and ever since then, he's been like really picking up the pace and looking back every 3 minutes like I'm gonna rape him or something like that. I'm clinging to him like a dingleberry, my guys. Ah! Yeah, I just caught up with him. He's a good guy. It's nice to have that chase. It gives you a little motivation. He said he was feeling the same thing when I was coming up on him. I sensed it, but he's doing more mileage than me every day. Not quite 20s, but 16s, 17s, and he's slack packing some days, which I haven't done. Is that cheating? So after a little over a week of doing this and talking with others, I just don't see myself doing more than 12 or 13 miles days in these conditions. I mean, there's a lot of climbing. And even if I wanted to say push 14 or 15, a lot of the shelters and campsites are beyond that. And my mind and my body tell me around 12 or 13, okay, it's time to set up camp. And even when you're setting up camp and getting water and eating, by then it's getting to be dusk. So, you know, I suspect if I get into flatter territory where I'm hauling ass all day, yeah, 20 miles I can do. But yeah, I'm not pushing 15s in this. Coming up on Standing Indian Mountain Peak, which is about 5,300 feet. And the climb wasn't horrible. A lot of switchbacks, which made it a relatively nice climb, but a good workout. I gotta say, the view from about a quarter mile back was nicer, but here we are. So originally I was gonna stay at Carter Gap, but I met some hikers, Ryan and Jeans, who've been pushing serious mileage, and today's climb was not what I've been seeing the last couple of days, so it was a relatively gradual climb. So I think I got it in me to make it to Betty's Creek Gap shelter, and then that gives me one more day to Franklin, so I might extend my stay to get a full 0 and enjoy it. It's a nice town. That won't be long now. Whew. Damn if I know.
I have a compass, I just never use it.
There's leaves on it. So everybody's going into Franklin tomorrow. I got a 12.5-mile hike over a fire tower, and I only got Thursday night reserved at Hilltop Hotel. They couldn't get me in Wednesday, but everybody's going in because it's supposed to start raining tomorrow. And I've got to Franklin quicker because I did 16 miles today, 12.5 tomorrow. So I don't know what I'm gonna do. Good night.